What's up guys, today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do a high taper on waves. So you want to start off with clicking the link in my bio. I don't know why, but just do it. You just want to click the link in my bio. If you want to get a haircut, make sure you check the bio in the website, check out the reviews. If you want to make an appointment, make sure you click select and check all the services available. Check the calendar. You don't want to check a day. You don't want to pick a day where I'm not working, man. You want to put in your name, put in the last name, put in the email, and then you want to put in your number. And if you want to leave me a special note in that, you can leave it there. I'll make sure to read it. After all that, you want to click book, and I'll see you in my chair. So we're starting off with combing the hair, combing the waves down, making sure everything's nice and laid down. There's no knots under the waves. Everything's just nice and even, following the wave pattern. Everything's laid down in the same direction. I like to use both a comb and a brush. First I use a comb, and then I come back with my brush and brush the waves. You want to make sure everything's laid down as possible. And then I'm taking my 1.5 guard by a wall, my plastic guard, and I'm gonna cut down the waves. You want to make sure you go with the grain because we're trying to keep the waves. We're not trying to mess up the waves. So with textured hair, when it lays down, make sure, just imagine curly hair, real curly hair. If you stretch it, it's gonna be wavy. So this is what this is. The hairs are long and they're brushed down, that they're laid down, and that's how you get the waves. So you want to keep the waves. You want to cut in the direction that the waves are being combed and brushed. You want to make sure you go over the area a couple times, man. You want to make sure nothing's sticking out, and you want to make sure everything's laid down. You want to make sure you brush after a couple strokes, so you can keep brushing the hair down, so it can keep staying laid down. Again, you want to follow the direction of the waves. You want to make sure you start off from the crown, right there where I just pointed. That's the crown. The crown, it shows you how the hair grows, the pattern that it grows. That's where it starts. So as you can see, I'm starting from the crown and I'm moving my way down to the neck, and I'm following the same pattern of the waves. I'm keeping the teeth of my blades parallel to the waves. You want to make sure it's parallel as possible and it's following the same direction, because if it doesn't, you could cut more hair than you need to, and there's gonna be like a lighter spot that's gonna be noticeable, and then you're gonna mess up the waves. And you never want to mess up the waves. That's a for sure lost client, because that's a lot of work to obtain waves. You gotta cut down the hair, you gotta brush the hair, you gotta wear do-rags, you gotta fall asleep with do-rags, you gotta shower your hair with do-rags, just so the hair can lay down and look like that. So that's a lot of work. And then right now, I'm taking my wand plastic guard, and we're gonna set up everything for our lineups in the neck area. The reason why I'm taking my one guard is because around the lineup, I want my hair to be shorter, because that when the hair is a little shorter, it helps the lineup stand out and last a little longer, and it just looks sharper and cleaner. So now I'm gonna take my wall detailers and I'm gonna start my lineup in the neck. You want to make sure I always follow the pattern of the hair. I never try to create something new. So I always start right there, right behind the ear, because that dictates where the lineup's gonna point, how the lineup's gonna lay down. You want to have a soft and persistent touch, consistent touches. Right here, I'm taking the about 3 teeth of my blade are touching his ear right now, just to create that arc. You want to be light-handed with the hand. You want to make sure you go over the spot a couple times, man, because you just want to do it, because why not? You got all the time in the world to do it, man. Just do it. So again, we're brushing our hair down. You see all that hair that's sticking out above the line, you could kind of tell where the line's going to be. I always see my lineups way before I put them in, so you just get used to that. So again, light and consistent touches. You want to make sure you just retouch the lineup, make it as sharp, straight as possible. You want to make the lineup smooth. Like, just imagine the perfect lineup. There's no hair sticking out at all. You want to make sure you use your corner of your blade to create that arc. use the 3 teeth. Use about 3 teeth. Again, make sure you light-handed, man. Especially if you got sharp clippers, man. You gotta make sure you don't have a heavy hand, cause that's not good, man. You're gonna hurt the client. All right, right now we're taking our 5/0 blade by Oster, and we're gonna start our first guideline. We're gonna bald everything before we even start the taper. So this is a pre-setup. I like to call this a pre-setup. This is not even tapering. This is not even blending. This is setting everything up still. So you want to make sure you follow that line, make it straight across the neck as possible. Symmetry is so important here. Very, very important here. So again, I'm gonna take my wall detailers and bald everything down in the neck area as much as possible. I'm not gonna use any shavers because electric shavers are kind of when you're dealing with textured hair, the skin is more sensitive with electric shavers. They could get ingrown hairs, so you want to avoid that. Don't use electric shavers. You don't have to, unless the client asks you to. So now my next step right here, I took my one blade by Oster and I went up about a finger length. And again, I'm using that technique where I'm going in and I'm pulling out that half moon. I'm not pushing all the way through. Once I get about the half space in between the finger length, I start pulling out. I start making that circulation outward. Make sure everything under that guideline is as even as possible. You want to make sure you go against the grain right here. Right here, you do want to go against the grain because this is a fading part. So as you can see right here, his hair kind of grows sideways, so I'm going sideways. I'm going against the grain. Now we're taking our wall seniors, and they're open about halfway. We're erasing that first line we made. We're gonna mess with the lever, open halfway, close all the way until we erase that line. You want to make sure you got a light hand, man. Make sure you got a light hand, light touch. You don't want to stress the client. You don't want to irritate the client. You don't want the client to be like, man, I just want to be out of this chair. This hurts, man. 'Cause honestly, I've been cut by people who have been heavy-handed, bro. That sucks. It's like torture, bro. You come out all red in the neck and everything. All right, now I like using my comb when I'm dealing with longer hair. I like using my comb. So now we're gonna go up about another finger length. We're gonna take our 1.5 guard by Oster. I'm going up about a finger length, using the same technique, light hand touch. Don't leave the blade on the scalp all the way through the stroke. You want to pull out as you get halfway through the point, halfway in between those guidelines. Make sure light touch. You want to make sure you comb the hair. You can see right here my technique. I start off with putting my blade all the way flat on the scalp and then pulling out as I'm getting higher. Just imagine like you're walking up a ramp. You kind of want to create that same thing. We're creating the same thing. You're going from smaller to longer length. So you want to make that transition smooth, and this technique helps with that transition. So again, I use my comb so much. After, let's say, 3, 4, 5 strokes, I use my comb about 7 times to lay the hair back down. Especially on textured hair because it's so curly. It's kind of hard to deal with textured hair when it's all over the place. So you want to brush it down to its natural state. So now we came back and we got our 1A middle guard, and now we're erasing that second guideline we made. This is where the taper starts coming in. You can start kind of seeing it. It's looking clean, man. You kind of start seeing results and you feel good, man. You feel real good when you see that taper coming out so fresh and so clean, man. Again, you want to make sure you got a light touch there. You see that I kind of exaggerate that part a little there, right there. Take your 1A. That's still my 1A guard. Again, you can see I'm brushing. I'm combing so much. Combing because I'm using a comb. I'm not using the brush. So you can see right there in close detail, man. The camera's so good. You can see so close in detail, man. You can see right there how good we erasing that first guideline, man. Soft touch, light touch, man. That's all you need. Now we came back with our one metal guard, which is the same size it's the same size as a half guard from wall, the plastic one. But we're taking a one metal guard and we're coming back and erasing that first guideline, still touching it up. Again, you want to be detailed about your work, man. Be picky. You gotta be OCD with this, man. Take your time, no rush. You got all the time in the world. Now we're coming back with our 1.5 guard by wall, our plastic guard, and now it's open. We're just taking out that bulk and we're blending our taper with the hair on the top. This is essentially kind of the last step. So again, the blade is open. My seniors are open, man. And we're using the same technique. You go in, you pull out. I think we all know that technique, but yeah. You go in, you pull out. You make sure you don't go any further than that. Take the comb, man. Brush the hair down. You want to brush the hair down. Make sure it lays down. You can see it starting to blend real nice. I'm taking my 1.5 guard, same guard, and I'm going with the waves. Just making sure I blended the waves with taper. Again, make sure you use your comb so much. It really makes everything easy, bro. Again, I still have my clippers open. And now after we're done with that, I'm gonna take my comb. We're gonna do the clipper over comb technique. So you want to use your backbone. The backbone of the comb is the straight part where the teeth are connected to. They're glued on or whatever. You want to make sure that backbone rests on the scalp, and then you use it as a pivot to rotate, to kind of separate the teeth from the scalp, so you can cut less or more hair, however your control, how much you see you need to cut. And I can't really explain how much to cut, because that's what you're gonna learn through experience. You're gonna start knowing that. But I can for sure give you tips on what to look for, how to look for it. So this is what I'm doing here, man. Again, you want to go over the lineups. I like to go over my lineups after I do my taper, just to make sure, after you did the taper, some hair might stick out. You probably laid down different, so you want to come back and touch the lineup. You see, I'm OCD with this. Now we're taking our comb. I'm showing you guys where I'm gonna start my first guideline actually. So now we're taking our detailers. We're gonna start our first guideline. You want to make sure it kind of follows the direction that your back lineup is going to. It kind of shows you that it's kind of like a circular line if you would just follow all the way through. So again, you want to use symmetry. That's big. Now on the sides, I like using my shavers. It's not really a sensitive area right here, so you want to keep it nice and clean. Bald everything out all the way to the skin, so the taper could stand out, and so it lasts longer too. Again, brush, comb, whatever you need. Make sure you clean your area. So now we're gonna go up about a finger length. We're gonna take our one metal guard. We're gonna go up about a finger length. You want to make sure though, you as you get to the ear, you cut less. You want to cut less, man, because if you don't, you're just gonna start making a fit, and the client asks for a taper, man. So you kind of see, like, as I'm in the ear, it's less of a space. It's not even a finger length. It's probably like less than a half of a finger length. What do you say, 1/4? Whatever. You kind of want to make a triangle there. A isosceles triangle, whatever you need to call it, whatever you see that. Make sure everything's even though. Under that, you gotta make sure everything's laid down even. Make sure everything's the same size. You want to take your wash seniors, whatever, your clippers, halfway closed, and make sure you raise that bottom line. As you can see, so easy. It's gonna be an easy step right here. Again, you don't want to put too much weight on the scalp. You don't want to irritate the scalp. Again, light brushes too. Don't be so heavy-handed on the brushes too, because some people brush and they be like knocking your head sideways. So again, light touch, go against the grain. Be picky about your work. Be detailed, take your time, no rush. No rush, thank you, come again. Again, we're gonna repeat our same thing. We're gonna take our 1.5 guard, our metal clip, and we're going up about a finger length. And you see why I brush so much, because it kind of throws off the hair. You gotta brush it back down, comb it back down. You wanna go against the grain, do a couple strokes as much as you feel, and then brush it back down. And you can see we're making that triangle, that space we need. We're bringing that guideline up about a finger length. Go against the grain, make sure everything under that guideline is as even as possible. This really helps with the next step. You want to get used to the fact that each step helps for the next step. So you make sure that step is done the best way you can. So the next step could be done the best way as possible. So now we're taking our 1A guard and we're blending that guideline, that first guideline we made, that second guideline we're erasing that, we're blending it in, coming out smooth, light touch, same technique. You want right here, I kind of laid down the lower part of the blade more to the scalp, and the teeth are floating. Imagine the teeth are kind of floating, scratching the hair when you're blending. So now right here again, you want to comb the hair down, and we're gonna take our 1.5 plastic guard by wall, and it's gonna be open. We're gonna go and erase that. We're gonna connect our taper with the length on the top. So again, this is the technique I use. You want to use the back of the blade as a pivot. As you're going higher, you want to pull out. You want to rotate. You want to bring the clipper back to you. Again, be light-handed. You don't need to put a lot of muscle into cutting hair, man. That's why I'm skinny right now. You don't need a lot of muscle right here, man. You don't need to be irritating the skin. Just let the clipper do the work, man. Let the own weight of the clipper guide you. And after we're done with that step, you can see I like to be detailed. So I'm gonna take my comb and we're gonna do the clipper over comb technique. Make sure the teeth is what is grabbing the hair. Make sure that when you're working with the longer part of the hair, you use the wider teeth. When you're working on the lower part of the hair, you're using the smaller teeth. It just kind of makes sense because the smaller teeth grab the smaller hair better, and the wider teeth grab the longer hair better. So again, make sure you brush your hair down, comb your hair down, lay it down as natural as possible. Take your comb. You want the backbone to rest on the scalp, and you just gotta imagine that the teeth of the comb are floating in the air. And you wanna get used to the fact of seeing how much hair you need to cut. You don't need to cut a lot, just barely anything. As you can see, that's what I'm doing. The technique I'm doing, I'm using the back of the bone as a pivot. So again, you can see it's much hair, barely any hair that I grab. Again, take your time, no rush. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side of the head, the other side of the taper. We're gonna start our first guideline. Again, you want to follow kind of the direction, symmetry of where the back of the lineup is pointing. You kind of want to follow the pattern of the ear. So we're gonna take our first guideline. We're gonna bring it up with our wall detailers. I won't say T liners. No, we're using wall detailers right here with T wide blade. Make sure that when you're balling the hair, you make sure everything is cut. Make sure you go past where the lineup would be. You don't want to leave any hair like on top of the eyebrow, by the forehead, any hair under that. We're gonna take our shavers, bring everything to the skin. And again, with the shavers, I use my technique where I'm going in and pulling out. You wanna, because you could also make a line with the shavers, and you don't want to do that. These are kind of harder to erase. So as you get higher, you kind of pull out from the scalp. You want to take your time, let the machine do the work, especially with these, because these could irritate the scalp. Again, we're gonna take with our next guideline, we're gonna kind of do that triangular shape, our slanted guideline. We're gonna it's gonna be wider space over here, and as we get closer to the ear, it's gonna be smaller space. Make sure the position of the line follows the symmetry of the ear and the lineup we made on the neck. Take your time with this. You want to go against the grain, brush your hair. Now we're gonna take our wall seniors, close them up, keep them closed or open halfway, and we're gonna erase that first line we made. Again, you can see I have a light touch. You can barely see the scalp even moving. Look at that, man. Take your time. You want to make sure you go against the grain right here. You can see the hair is cutting down. You got get used to the fact of kind of seeing the hair in this position as close as possible, even from where you're standing. You gotta look in detail like this. You gotta look at the hairs like this in detail. You can see there's still a line right there. I'm still erasing that line. I'm not done. There's still about 2-3 hairs right there. I'm not done. Look. You see that? Look. You want to look at your haircut in detail like this close. So now we're gonna take our 1.5 guard by Oster, our metal clip, and we're gonna go up about another finger length. And as we get closer to the ear, we're gonna shorten that space. You want to use your comb. Make sure you brush everything back down, and then we go again with the blade. Use that same technique. You pull out as you get higher in the hair. You want to pull back from the scalp. Right here, you want to make sure you brush the hair real good. This area is very important. You want to make sure you go against the grain right there. Make sure you cut good right there. That's what makes the lineup stand out. I mean the taper stand out. Or it can make it look like you just got a bowl cut on the side right there. It's not a good blend. You can see right there it's starting to blend a little better, but I'm still gonna go back. I'm gonna go against the grain. You can see I'm going sideways in positions that you don't even see the hair growing, but I just know it grows there. You can see, because when you lay down the hair, it kind of follows a pattern. You know, it might go down, but then it turns to the back of the head towards the ear, and it just follows that way. You can see I got my 1A metal clip, and I'm touching that guideline that I need to erase. I'm having a gentle touch, and right here I'm going in and backing out from the scalp really fast, so there's really no space and time to really go up. You just gotta get good with that technique of coming in and pulling out. Now we're taking our 1.5 guard by wall. We opening, it's gonna be open, and we're just blending our taper with the length on top. You want to go, I like to go with the waves and against the waves right here. Right here you could do both with this guard. You want to keep in mind that when you're cutting with waves, say you cut with the number 2, the number that is going to leave on the waves is going to be a number 3. So with same concept with the 1.5 guard, when you're brushing down, when you're cutting down, it's going to blend right in with as if you were cutting up against the grain. And now again, I came back with my clipper over comb technique, and you pay close attention to how I'm using the comb. You see, the comb is kind of resting, the backbone is kind of resting on the scalp, and then I'm having the teeth float on the scalp. Now that we got that, we're gonna move on to the lineup, man. One of the most important steps of the haircut, especially with the waves and taper. This is one of the most important steps, man. You want to take out the clip. You want to take out 1 guard. We got it halfway close, and we taking just that line apart, a little bit down lower, just so the lineup could stand out, just how I did in the sides of the neck. Y'all remember, right? I took down the bulk a little bit right there, just so the lineup could stand out, and it's a better cut, cleaner cut. It's easier to cut, honestly. So again, you want to start with the middle of the head. You want to make sure the blade of your liners are parallel to the floor or the ceiling. Make sure the client keeps his head as straight as possible. You don't want his head tilting to the side, because then his liners are going to be messed up. So again, I like to start from the middle. because it's gonna tell me where both sides are gonna go. Kind of dictates. And I like to picture my lineup already there before I even start. So I pick out where my lineup is gonna be in the hair, and then I put it there. I don't just start at a random spot. And then you always want to start the lineup as natural as possible. You never want to push it back. So again, have a light touch. Make sure the blade hits perpendicular to the scalp. Again, with this, I like the corner to line up with the corner of the eye. You want to have a light touch, man. Especially with the lineup, man. If you got sharp clippers, you don't want to be cutting the client, man. You don't want to be leaving marks on there. You don't want to give them permanent lineups, man. You don't want that. You gonna lose permanent clients, man. That's even if you got sharp clippers, man. You want to make sure you probably adjust them or even have a lighter touch, because that's a very sensitive area. It's really easy to leave marks here. Then again, I'm pointing the line up to the corner of the eye. Now we're gonna take our topics, hair fibers, and we're gonna apply the hair fibers. But before this, I've sprayed some hairspray on the lineup. Probably missed it, my bad, guys. You want to take some hairspray, any type of hair glue, not any type, but mostly hairspray type of glue, and you want to spray on the lineup. And then we want to take a card, any business card, and apply the hair fibers. You don't want to put too much, just a few taps. You don't want to make the lineup too dark. You're just kind of accenting it. This helps. I like to use the hair fibers for two reasons. It helps when you apply the hair fibers. It helps you see if you got a straight lineup, and you could even make your straight lineup straighter, more perfect. This really helps with detail because the hair fibers fill in the gaps. And when you don't have any gaps, it's easier to see a line connected, a straight line when it's connected. So again, take your clippers, barely tap, and you can see it kind of looks like I used a razor already, but I didn't. There's no razor right here, man. So as you can see, I'm showing you guys the process right now, the progress. Take your time, man, no rush. That's why you charge what you charge. There's no rush. Your clients will understand. Clients rather have someone taking their whole time, their sweet time on their haircut and paying for that time than have someone rushing and paying half as much and having a bad haircut for the next 2 weeks. So now we're gonna take our razor, apply some some shaving gel. We're gonna take our razor and we're gonna go over our lineup. You want, I first like to go clean up the forehead area, and then I like to go against the grain with the lineup. It helps it with lasting longer duration and sharpness. So as you can see here, we have the high taper with the waves. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe for more and book your appointment for more haircuts. Yeah.